The Apple iPhone 15 is not selling as well in China as the iPhone 14 did. It's according to a new report from Counterpoint Research that looks at sales in the first 17 days after the product's launch. And the report points to China's economic woes as a main cause here. For more on this, we turn to the author of that report, Counterpoint Research Director Jeff Fieldhack. So, Jeff, doesn't sound like good news for Apple here. What are the reasons? I mean, one sounds like perhaps a shaky Chinese economy, but what are the variables here at work?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of the same story as higher unemployment of young people, which would really drive Apple sales. But there are other headwinds for Apple. One, the China smartphone market, we estimate, is down 5%. So in that respect, Apple's holding serve also being down about 5%. The other the other major reason is Huawei. Huawei has a 5G device out, Mate Pro 60, and that device is now taking a bit of that premium segment that Apple really owned last year. And also the other, Oppo, Vivo, Xiaomi also have foldables. They are not huge volume drivers, but taking all these total headwinds, it does come up to about a 5% drop year over year, we estimate.
Hey, Jeff, I'm curious, without getting you to give away anything proprietary, how do you guys figure this stuff out, how the sales are going thus far?
Yeah, we do multiple channel checks at the supply chain level. A lot of our data is import-export data. We have some of looks in some countries with some app data. So there are multiple sources we triangulate to get Apple estimates.
And Jeff, I'm interested in why you think Huawei might be taking a bite here. Do you think there's this growing nationalism among Chinese consumers? I asked Jeff because I remember Apple bulls reacting to when Huawei came out with that new device, and some were saying, they kind of shrugged it off. They said, listen, once you're in Apple's ecosystem, you don't leave, it's sticky. What are some reasons you think Huawei could be having some success here?
Yeah, first, the ecosystem is a little weaker in China. A lot of these applications are not allowed there. So that's the first obvious reason. There is certainly nationalism. Huawei did have devices, and even the 4G devices are selling a little bit better. And now that they have a 5G device, even if the specs and the chip and the node is not it's a year, 2 years behind Apple, it still is drawing in consumers. Our research and testing of the device is solid. If you are not an avid gamer, the camera technology is great on the device. You might not notice, some of the areas where the overall device's hardware is behind Apple and, for example, Samsung.
And Jeff, all of this said about demand for the phones in China, your data also showed that things in the U.S. are actually going okay. Can you walk us through those numbers?
Yeah, we are seeing, and to put it in perspective, the North America market is much larger than the China market. So we're at about 23 million in the North America market and about 17 million in the China market. So this weakness could be offset by the North America market. The carriers and their promotions are on par with last year. We are finding the media spend on both TV and online is actually larger. And there's a lot of competition in the US market with the cable players getting into wireless, and that's further pushing, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon.
And Jeff, I'm interested that, so your report covers these 17 days. Do you think investors should, who are listening right now, should they try to extrapolate, okay, that's 17 days, what it might mean for that all-important December quarter, that holiday quarter for Apple?
Yeah, certainly. There are always lots of moving parts in what supply is, and we're really tracking, supply up or down versus last year, and we are seeing it slightly higher. The wait periods globally are a bit longer. So it's all what can be delivered in those last 3 weeks, which is always the case. But our estimates are showing that the supply is in a slightly better situation this year than last year overall, but the wait times are a little longer.
Jeff Fieldhack, thank you so much for joining us today, Jeff.